Ladies and gentlemen out there in basketball Falcon land, this is Dwayne Fulton. I'm here with Coach Gary Griffin, and we're going to be talking a little basketball. So all you fans out there can understand what's going on. Coach, we like to welcome you here. Thanks. Always a pleasure to have you here on your show and everything. We just want to talk about over the holiday. You had some close games over the holiday, and how did that go up there, being out of town playing?
Yes, we had some tough games over the holiday. Well, we had a 4-game stretch in 7 days, all on the road, starting 2 games in Jackson against Forest Hill and also Callaway, which is a perennial powerhouse every year. They won maybe 4 state championships in a row. Then we went up to Corinth and played in the Lighthouse Challenge. And that's what it was, a challenge when you look at. They had the number 1 player in the country there, the number 2 player in the country, 6, and so forth. So, you know, it gave our guys an opportunity to see basketball at some of this highest level. And as you said, we came up short, especially on Saturday night. We ended up dropping to Spain Park, 55-51. It was a good experience for the guys. Spain Park had a player that has already committed to the University of Memphis. Okay. We played really well against them, and we just came up on the short end.
Okay. One of those games, I don't want to play devil's advocate, but one of those games I heard they got the score wrong, and you actually should have won, but we'll talk about that later. We'll throw that in there later. But as you know, tonight's game is going to be against Noxubee County, and out there, for you fans out there, the game has been canceled.
Yes, it has been canceled due to the weather the last 2 days, and that game will be made up on Friday, December the 2nd. And we're looking forward to that game. You know, you're always looking for your next game to get off the slide. So we're ready for that game, and the guys are also.
I tell you what, Coach, looking at your schedule, man, you really only have 10 home games. You're on the road a lot. Right. So what is that? What are you really trying to put in your kids' mind as far as playing on that road, not hostile?
Well, in terms of the schedule, many people don't understand how scheduling works. When the schedule was made last year, when we had the team that we had, we made a stiff schedule. So you have to return those games to the team that you played, you know, the previous year. And so it just felt that last year we played more home games last year, so we got to go on the road and play these teams this year. But what it does is it gives our guys an opportunity to play in a hostile environment. So when it gets time to district play and postseason play, they'll be prepared, and nothing will faze them. They won't be afraid of anything.
Now, your next home game will be December the 10th. Your first home game before the holidays. That'll be against Starkville, right? That was a close game, man, and I felt y'all could have won. But you know, lack of experience, having the young players being in that situation, you know, that kind of. Right. Right. So we look forward for a better game. We play better at home. You know how that go out there and everything. Kind of assess your team with the first games. How would you assess your team right now?
Well, in terms of where we are, just getting so many new guys acclimated into, you know, just playing basketball. It's so many things that, as a coach, you think that these guys should know. That they should learn at a lower level, YMCA. But as a coach, you got to keep pounding them, keep instilling in them different philosophies and things that they need to do in order to for the team to be successful. And with that said, where we are right now in terms of we're just trying to get better each day. We're pushing our guard. We know that we have Robert Woodard, and a lot has been placed on his shoulders, and we need some more guys just to step up and take some of that load off his shoulders.
As far as the players you need to step up, who's kind of looking good right now as far as your forward position and your guard position? Some of the players that kind of coming to the light.
Well, other than Robert, last time I checked, I know Robert, just since we had the show, we played South Haven, and he had 39 points and 21 rebounds, and, you know, that's almost unheard of. Matter of fact, in my 17, 18 years of doing it, I don't never remember a player having a 30-20 games at Columbus or whatever. So he had a humongous game in that game. But in terms of our other players, people like Denaje Harris, he's stepping up and playing a lot better. We just have to stay on him in terms of being more aggressive, keeping that aggressive attitude. When he plays aggressive, he plays very well. It's just when he plays unaggressive, teams they try to push him around a little bit. So we just got to keep him aggressive. Jabores Frazier as well. He's been playing pretty well in terms of giving us some beef on the inside. And pretty much so, all these guys, they've been doing some good things. It's just the inexperience and doing things that are bad things at inopportune times.
Right. And then plus, Woodard is the only start out there for a lot of you fans out there to pretty much notice. So basically, you're taking 4 players trying to, get them to play around him. So, and you had some transfer guys come in too. Some guys that transferred from, like, what is that?
Columbus Christian,
who had the opportunity to win championships.
Right.
But then again, that's a whole different level than 6A basketball.
It is, and just talking to those guys, now they understand that this is a whole different environment, a whole nother level. I was talking to one of the kids, and they were like, "Coach, we only used to playing in front of 50 people.
Right.
Whereas now they might go into a Starkville game and it may be 2,000 people.
Right.
And so, it takes some nerves to get out and get yourself used to, getting out in front of a crowd and just playing your game. But I try to tell them is that when they're on the court, they shouldn't hear anyone. They should just go out and play at all times and just play hard, and everything going to, let the chips fall where they may, as long as they're being aggressive and as long as they're playing hard, giving effort.
I tell you what, we're at the end of November. We're going into December. We want to explain to everybody that there's going to be a Christmas tournament here, right?
That's correct.
So just kind of touch on some of the teams that's going to be coming in here. And there's going to be local teams that's going to come here and play too. So.
Right, that's correct. Yeah, we're having our annual Christmas Classic, Joe Horn Christmas Classic, which we've had now for over 2 decades, honoring Joe Horn, who was one of my teachers in high school at Lee High when I went to high school. And so we're fortunate enough that Sammy Smith named this tournament or this classic after him. But like you were saying, we're going to have some teams in playing on December the 16th and December the 17th, just to give you a few teams, starting with local teams. New Hope boys and girls will be playing. West Lowndes boys and girls will be playing in it. We'll also have Senatobia, which is not far away. And then we'll stretch out and we'll have teams like Ridgeway High School out of Memphis. Their boys and girls will be coming. South Atlanta boys will be coming. We'll be having teams like Murray High School, which is a known powerhouse who've had a numerous amount of players that have made it in the NBA. Right. And we'll be having other teams like Sipsey Valley out of Tuscaloosa on the girls' side, Raleigh Egypt out of Memphis on the girls' side as well, along with Canton High School on the boys' side, which also has a top 100 player in the country as well.
Okay. I tell you what, in between now and then, how many home games will we have up until school is out, up until the Christmas? I know we have the 10th, right?
You're right. Up until the Christmas Classic, we only have one home game, and that's December the 10th against Starkville, and that'll be only 2 home games up until our 12 or 13 game stretch. And so, like you said, this year is just filled with a lot of away games and just a minimum amount of home games. But what I'm looking for that to be our advantage, usually towards our advantage in terms of when it's time to play district play and also our postseason play on the road.
That's what people have to understand, that these games are for postseason. These games are to get you guys ready and acclimated for playing on the road, and then for districts and making that run back to the state playoffs and everything. So that's a plus.
Right.
Now I want to say this though. We talked about the positive. If there's one negative thing about your basketball team that you're going to have to work on, what is that?
It's just developing a point guard. We got guys that are playing out of position because, we lost our point guards from last year. So now I'm asking a guy and several other guys to assume roles that they're probably not familiar with. And so just developing a true point guard to help the team. We know, and I know, that a point guard is so important in terms of team play, maybe the most important position on the court, because your point guard is usually a direct extension of your coaching staff. And so they relay a lot of plays and, from the offensive end and the defensive end. And so, just getting these guys, aware and allowing them to learn that communication is the key on the court, not only off the court as well. And so those are just some of the negative aspects that's centered around the team right now. And another thing is we have to improve on our free throws. We went to Forest Hill and we lost by a minimum amount of points, maybe 5-6 points, but we missed 23 free throws. And you can't beat anyone missing that many free throws. That's why they're free.
Yeah,
free
you
throws.
Gotta take those gimmies. Hey, I tell you what, with you being a point guard, what information, what do you pass on to your point guards as far as trying to level out the floor and participating in the game?
Well, I just try to make them realize that that their position is so important, and that they have to know every position on the court. You know, they got to know where everybody's supposed to be on the court so they can direct traffic and so they can put people in the right positions. Also, I try to let them know that they have to have confidence. A good point guard is just like a good cornerback, defensive back.
Right.
Once you blow an assignment or you get beat, you got to forget about it. You got to come right back.
Come right back, right. And it affects the whole team.
That's correct.
So, hey, Coach, we thank you for your time. Oh, one more question. How many games will y'all be playing in the holiday tournament here?
Okay,
How many games?
it'll be a total of about 16 total games between those 2 days,
Okay.
and we'll be playing on Friday night and Saturday night as well.
Okay, so you're just going to play 2 games in that
That's
tournament.
correct.
Okay, hey, for all you fans out there who hasn't got a chance to see the Falcons play, make sure you come out. If you can, make it to Knoxville County Friday night, and then on the 10th, right here in Columbus, they'll be facing Starkville. And over the holidays, for all you fans that say you don't have nothing to do, come on out. I know that tournament, man, it's big crowds.
It is.
It's something for the community to do. So, hey, Coach, thanks a lot. We appreciate you, man, once again. And we'll see him next Tuesday here on the Gary Griffin Basketball Falcon Show. Take care. Hey, this is Dwayne Fulton here on the Coach Yvonne Harrison's basketball show, Lady Falcons. Coach, we'd like to welcome you once again. As you notice, we snuck in there and we got a lot of footage of you doing your practice and everything. We kind of want to catch you when you're jumping all over them now. We just don't want to catch the good stuff. We want to get you when you get in their little case there. Yeah. Hey, this is Dwayne Fulton. First of all, we want to say happy holidays to you, Coach.
Thank you.
We want to talk about your past games. You had 2 games on the road. And you played up at Forest and Merle.
We did. We we had an opportunity to go down in Jackson and play down there, and we tried to make our schedule as rigorous as possible. And knowing when we go down there, that is some of what you're going to get when you move on into the tournament, into the state playoffs and different things like that. The games are a lot more physical down there, so my girls was kind of beat up a little bit, but that was good because that's just the way they're going to play down there. You know, everything that you get in Jackson, you got to earn it. So, you know, it's kind of reality check for us real early in the year, coming off our 4th and 5th game. So, you know, it was really good for us to go down there and have an opportunity to get the wins on the road like that. Anytime you can travel 2 or 3 hours away and then come out and be victorious, that's really good.
Anytime road games are good for the team, especially young players, to kind of get them on the road playing, that kind of gets you in tune with the district and region play and everything. As a lot of you Falcon fans out there know, we're going to be playing tonight in Knoxville County, but they canceled that game. So that game will be moved on, Friday night?
Friday night we'll be in Knoxville County.
Okay, we'll be back down in Knoxville County. For all you fans who's going to come out tonight, remember they canceled it. We're going to move that game to Friday night. Hey, let's talk about some of the players that you have that are stepping up. Let the fans know out there.
Zaria Jenkins right now is leading us in scoring, and we have Kennedy Stevens, which is also leading. I think it's the 2nd, and then Tori Ware as well. And my guards are doing a really good job. Brianna Green and Kaylin Wilson is doing a good job.
Now, those are seniors, right?
All of them except for Hannah White. She's a sophomore.
Okay.
And we got a couple, Anaya Sadler that comes off the bench. That's a 9th grader, 6-man. You know, she's coming off the bench and she's doing a really good job for us.
Very fast, Coach. If you can just get her to slow down a little bit, she might be all right.
Yeah, we actually, to be honest, we've been working on that this week to make sure that we can not only her, but the team itself, it kind of slows itself down because we're making some mistakes out there on the floor when people begin to press us and things like that. And I think it's just our inexperience with it. But as much as we've seen it this year, hopefully it'd be very beneficial for us when we go into our tournament play, district tournament play, that we've already seen it, and hopefully we'll be a little bit more calmer, we'll be a little bit more experienced out there on the floor.
Okay, you have some games coming up in the tournament. We got the big Christmas tournament coming up. With our next home game will be against Starkville on December the 10th, which was a game that, I tell you what, if there's anybody who was out there, Coach, you came out beating the brakes off of Starkville. They didn't know what was going on. But then again, you know, hey, we can't play for them.
Right.
But then again, I think in that game, for a lot of you Falcon fans out there, if you was at the game, you've seen the talent that we had, which I feel we're way more talented than Starkville. So can we talk about that game for a while?
Oh, well, I think we came out and we was very focused. We knew we had a game plan, and we executed that game plan at the first half. And we went back in the halftime, and I was trying to tell them that, you know, we still got 16 minutes to play. It's the most important time. And then we kind of dropped the ball going back in. The game, they got a little bit more aggressive. We couldn't match the intensity there for about, a quarter. And then when we decided we wanted to play again, it was a little bit too late for us. But we made some very inexperienced mistakes out there on the floor. We had 21 turnovers and only lost by 7, which that's good. I mean, we're going back in and trying to correct those different types of things that we're doing. We're just rushing ourselves. It's nothing that's Starkville, and not taking anything away from Christie or anything that they're doing over there. They're doing a really fine job. But we lost the game because we made a lot of mistakes out there on the floor.
Right.
And I'm quite sure she's saying the same thing on her end. So we got back in the gym and trying to correct some of those things to make sure that next time we see Starkville that we won't have 21 turnovers, and then making sure that we're finishing on some of the baskets that we have, and also learning how to take the contact. They're a little bit more physical. The game got a little physical for us, but having the 2 prior games down in Jackson with that type of physical play, getting back in the gym, doing some things to make them a little bit more physical mentally, and most of the time, a lot of our stuff is more mental. We can do it. It's just the fact of getting it done. And I think that with all the competition that we've had lately, they're understanding the game a little bit more and exactly what it's going to take to win.
Right. Coach, they're going to have to grow up real fast, because if you look at the schedule, you only have 10 home games versus 17 games on the road. So a lot of times you're going to have to go into somebody else's house and win. And like you said, turnovers is going to be one of the main keys. Let's talk about the tournament coming up. We're going to have the Christmas tournament. You're going to have 2 home games for the Christmas tournament. Can you kind of elaborate on some of the teams you'll be facing in the Christmas tournament?
Well, as for our competitor itself, right now it hasn't been set in stone, but I've seen some of the girls that are going to be in the tournament, and it's just a draw. Jim Hill, Horn Lake, it just all depends on who we pull. It doesn't make a difference because all of them can play. But I mean, we're up for the challenge. Like I said, all of this is preliminary to get into district play like we want to get into. So we're just taking like one game at a time, and hopefully preparing each game and breaking down film and getting our X's and O's corrected to make sure that we can get done what we need to get done when it's time to go to work.
Okay. Now you have several games under your belt. Let the fans know out there, in your mind, where's your team at right now? In your mind.
Last year, and I try to compare the schedule, our schedules together. It's just flipped from last year. Last year, Callaway beat us, but they lost their Dandy Dozen as well. But we played them here, and we got a game on the road, a win on the road. Also, Forest Hill beat us last year. We had an opportunity to beat Forest Hill this year. So Starkville beat us last year, same thing. But we did pick up 2 wins that we didn't get last year. So that's a plus for us. I see some things that we have improved on, and then I see some things that we need to improve on, and so that is what we're trying to do. I mean, I hate to be on the road, but I mean, when you can win on the road, that's a plus.
Right.
To make sure you got your mindset going into those basketball games on the road, whatever. But as for our scheduling and stuff like that, what I see, I feel very happy as to where I am right now. We don't really need to be playing our best basketball of the year right now.
That's true.
We're waiting to January and February, and hopefully everything will be fine-tuned by then.
To make that March run.
To make that run into March. I think the finals is probably March the 12th or something like that. So we need to be playing very good come the end, January and February, getting ready to go into the state playoffs and things like that. As of right now, I'm pretty pleased as to where we are. We'll see again on probably next Tuesday night, not overlooking Knox, because I know they are well coached down there. But I mean, we have another big rival game with Starkville coming in here on next Tuesday. So
what do you know about Knoxville County?
I don't know very much. Right now, I know Rosalind, and I'm just going to talk about the coach. I know what she's done. I know, the type of game that she tries to play and stuff like that, and the knowledge that she can bring to the game itself. So I look for them to be very competitive. And I feel like we're going to have to play, and we need to go in. Our mindset is to go in and play our game. We haven't done a whole lot of preparation for other schools, and I feel like if we do what we're supposed to do, we'll win a lot of ball games. I don't spend a lot of time trying to figure out what they're going to do. We just try to figure out what we're going to do and execute on our end.
Right. I tell you what, A lot of folks out there want to know, Coach, when you're not in the gym, when you're at home, do you have a pad walking around the house drawing up plays, or do you think basketball 24/7?
And I hate to say this, but I thank God I had two boys, because I spent a lot of time talking about, thinking about, looking at, and a lot of things surrounds basketball, because that's what I do. Coaching girls basketball is a little different, because we don't have an opportunity to get into different gyms, so we spend a lot of time in the gym with them, you know, because a lot of times if we're not practicing, they're not playing.
Right.
You know, it takes a big dedication for a young lady, you know, to get out and work on her own. So because of that, you know, I know that I got to be in the gym in order for me to be competitive the way I need to be. You know, we're in the gym most of the time.
And then plus also out there, a lot of people know your alma mater is Mississippi State University, and they are ranked, I think last we checked, they moved up to 6th in the nation. So having the college basketball right in your backyard, that gives your girls opportunity to see some players who are on the next level and how they play the game.
Most definitely, we encourage them to get out and go see Mississippi State, and having the opportunity to coach against and to know Victoria Vivens very well.
Okay.
You know, that's an asset to us, and to have them come up to our players and just really talk to them and give them the understanding of it is great, because they can see, you know, the game on the next level, and actually how hard they have to work, and, you know, the things that, and also the terminology that I see that Coach Schaefer makes over there are some of the same terminology that we use here, and, you know, kind of letting them know. And then when they go, they come back and they say, well, Coach, he said do this and do that. And then to know that language, to be able to speak the language of basketball across the scale on all different levels is really important. So, yeah, Mississippi State is an asset, and Coach Smith, he you know, he was, Kiki Patterson played for him for a while. So, you know, that personal relationship with him is really good.
We're going to talk, one of these days, we're going to get you on Coach Griffin in here. We're going to talk about some of your players, where they at now. Because a whole lot of them, we're going to have to sit down and draw this list out, are playing major college basketball and doing well. So we get to, I know it makes you feel good when they come back home. I seen you yesterday, your face just lit up when one of your players came back, and that makes you feel good, and it lets the other players know.
Right, and you know, a lot of times, sometimes people think that our ultimate goal is to win the state championship, and of course it is. But when you have an opportunity to see these young ladies use some of the things that you've taught them to go on and move on to the next level, you know, like Kayla Rogers scored 42 points in a junior college game, and she was junior college player of the week. So we're excited about that, and I know she has that scoring title, you know, for the school she's at, which is Coahoma Community College. So, you know, anytime we can do that, you know, to have her come back and share with her team and all that kind of stuff is very exciting for us.
That's awesome. Makes the head coach feel good to say, hey, look at my work. Look what's been passed on. Hey, this is Dwayne Fulton. I'm here with Coach Harrison. And as you know, we're going to get out there and get some more footage for all you fans out there. We're going to get some footage of Coach Griffin and his boys and everything, and just kind of give everybody a in-depth look at Lady Falcons basketball. Coach, we want to thank you, and we will see y'all next Tuesday, and we'll have some good news to talk about.